Alright, so before actually working with Adobe SoundBooth, the first thing that we're going to need to do is get organized. So to do that, what I'm going to do is create a project folder on my desktop. So I just hold down the control key on my keyboard and click on the desktop, or right click on the desktop and choose new folder. And I'm going to go ahead and name this and include the date, and I'm going to separate the date fields with dots instead of slashes. And this is going to be my project folder. I'm going to save all of my WAV files in this folder, as well as the Adobe SoundBooth project file. All that is going to go into this folder that I've created on my desktop. And when I'm done working on things, I'm going to move this folder into my class folder. And we'll see why a little bit later. So right now I actually need to transfer WAV files from my Zoom H2 into my project folder. So to do that, I first make sure that my Zoom H2 is off, which sounds kind of weird, but you make sure it's off, and then connect it to your computer with the supplied USB cable. And when you do that, the Zoom H2 will actually magically turn on. And you'll see on the Zoom H2 screen two options: storage and audio. You want to use your fast forward and rewind buttons to make sure that storage is selected, and then go ahead and select storage with the red record button. And if you do that correctly, the Zoom H2 will mount to the computer. You can see here mine is named H2SD. Yours may in fact be named no name, but regardless, it will be the new drive that appears on your computer. So you can either open it up from the desktop or over here on the left. So now I want to actually access those WAV files that are on my Zoom H2. So I've selected it over here, and by default all of your WAV files will be going to folder 01. So I can either expand that folder or double click it to open it up, and those are my WAV files from my interview. So I want to move those into my project folder, so I'll go ahead and open that up as well. Here we go. And I want to always move all of my WAV files into my project folder, because you'll never know what you might need later. So I'm going to move everything in. So I'll select the topmost file and then hold down the shift key on my keyboard and select the bottommost file. And I'll click and drag those into my project folder. And that will take a couple of seconds to move over. And when I'm done, I'm actually going to eject the Zoom H2. I'm going to unmount it, just so I'm sure that I'm always working with these WAV files, the WAV files in my project folder. So I'll give it a couple seconds here. And now I'll go back to my Zoom H2. And you can see over here on the left, I select it and I have this eject button. I'll go ahead and click that. And now the H2 has, I've ejected the Zoom H2, and now I can preview my WAV files. And the way I like to do that is by opening them up with QuickTime, because QuickTime opens faster than iTunes, especially if you're in one of the labs. So to do that, I'll select one of the WAV files and either control click it or right click it and select open with, and then choose QuickTime Player. And I'll give it a listen, get a sense of what this particular WAV file, what's on there. And I'll go ahead and name it appropriately. And I'll preview this one as well. And I'll rename this WAV file. And now, in order to actually start working with these WAV files, I need to open up Adobe SoundBooth, obviously. So I can either go to Go on the menu bar or scroll down here and select Applications. And I'm looking for Adobe SoundBooth, which should be in the A area. And I'll find it and go ahead and open it up.